What up, kinfolk? It's your boy Screwface Capone in the house, and it is March 22, and hopefully it is March 22 this time, and hopefully I'm not late. But you're tuned into 5-Bit News, where I grab 5 of the biggest and most important news items from last week. Well, maybe not necessarily the biggest, but just 5 important news items that I felt you should know about. And for this week, we learned that Jade Raymond, formerly from Ubisoft and EA, is forming a new studio for PlayStation. Also, Xbox Game Pass is getting even bigger with the addition of EA Play for PC. Also, Square-Enix held its Nintendo Direct style conference last week, and we're gonna go over some of the announcements from that. Also, 2K Sports ups its golf game by signing Tiger Woods. And finally, several companies have spoken out against anti-Asian violence in the wake of last week's shooting. So, before we hop in, hit that note, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon if you want to see more game-related videos. I have everything from reviews to previews. I got game stream uploads. I just had a tech boxing of the Xbox Series X, and I got another unboxing coming up later on this week. So you're definitely going to want to stick around and check it out. So let's hop in. Alright, first and foremost, Jade Raymond, formerly from Ubisoft and who formerly worked at EA and was last at Stadia before their first party studios were shut down. She has formed a new game studio called Haven, and they will be producing a PlayStation exclusive title. So Sony released a posting from her for the company's blog post, and here's right here, and I'll link to it in the description. So basically her point is that she's forming a new independent studio with many of the people she's worked with in the past, and where she can create new game, the type of games that she wants to make without dealing with politics and the barriers. So that's pretty cool. So definitely we will be looking forward to her work in the next coming years. So for those of you who don't know, she had originally got her start working with The Sims Online, I believe. She had also worked at Ubisoft for several years, where she was behind the Assassin's Creed games. Also worked on games like Splinter Cell Blacklist. She would leave Ubisoft in 2014 to go over to EA, where she would be head of 2 studios, Visceral Games and Motive. Now, what happened there was that I think at least Visceral was apparently supposed to be putting out a single-player open-world Star Wars title, and I think Motive was too, but unfortunately some things happened and those projects were canceled. I'm not sure what the specifics are, but keep in mind that this was around a time when EA was putting all its money into Battlefront and was largely against single-player games and was focusing toward multiplayer online stuff. She was then working at Stadia, where, as you know, Google shut down the Stadia first-party development studios. So basically, the only studio that Stadia had that was producing exclusive content for the Stadia was shut down. I think I even mentioned that several weeks ago in the previous edition, but hopefully now she's got her own studio, and I think Sony should be giving her good backing. I mean, I believe they did back up Hideo Kojima when he was working on Death Stranding, so hopefully she'll have better luck here than she's had in the past, because that's definitely a talented game developer, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later that we'll be able to see the kind of stuff that they've got planned. Alright, so I know some people are going to be accusing me of being a paid shill for Microsoft and Xbox Game Pass, but I don't give a shit, because this is awesome. Xbox Game Pass is just continuing to get bigger and bigger. So this past week they've added EA Play for people who have Xbox Game Pass on PC or people who have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So last year they've added EA Access for Xbox gamers. So now they got a bunch of stuff for PC gamers as well. So what Game Pass is basically you got a series of games where you can download and play as long as they're on the service, and you also get Microsoft first party games from day one. So that includes stuff like Wasteland 3, Gears 5, and even upcoming games like, of course, Halo Infinite. So they added EA Play to Game Pass. So here's like all the stuff you can. This is basically like all the stuff that you can basically download, and also you get to buy it at a discount if you want to keep it. So you got like recent stuff like Madden, you got Sea of Solitude, Anthem for people who still play that. There's games like Titanfall. It's not just like newer games or more recent. There's also a lot of old school stuff too. There's SimCity, completed. That's a 2003 clusterfuck, but you got Spore. You've got Crisis. There's Medal of Honor. You got Dungeon Keeper, Populous, SimCity 2000. I mean, and you know they're just going to keep adding more and more stuff to it. Also, there's some pretty amazing stuff coming to Game Pass on console too. Like this week, there's Outriders, which is going to be launching on the service when it launches in April. You got Yakuza 6, Song of Life. There's Squadrons. Also, there's Octopath Traveler that was formerly a Switch exclusive. It came to Steam a while ago, so now it's coming to Xbox Game Pass. So just a lot of amazing stuff. Just a lot of amazingly awesome stuff to check out. And also, like on Game Pass PC, like there's a version of Nier Automata with graphical enhancements. So yeah, there's just so much sweet stuff. So like, if you got an Xbox, or even if you don't, then this is pretty much like you pretty much need this. You get the Xbox Live service and the games bundled up in one. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how amazing this service is, and it's only gonna get bigger and bigger. So Square-Enix has held a online event called Square-Enix Presents, and it's the first of several. So they showed off upcoming games that are coming out, as well as news for current games. Also, there's going to be another one this summer. So I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but just some of the just some of the bigger points. So there's Life is Strange: True Colors. You got there's a new Asian hero who's got some psychic powers, and it's not going to be an episodic game like the last few were. It's going to be a full game in one package. It's coming September 10th. I never really played these games, but they do have their fan following, especially if you like adventure style games and with like morally tough choices. So this is definitely something you're going to want to watch, especially if you were a fan of previous games in the series. One big thing they're always about is like the big representation. Like this one actually has an Asian hero, and the last one had like 2 Latinos. So of course, Outriders, as you know, it's coming to Game Pass on April 1st. They showed off a trailer which showed off the game's classes, and the demo's available now, and you can you can keep your progress from the demo and carry it over to the full game. So definitely something you're going to watch out for. It's like a Destiny type game. I think I might post some first impressions later on this week. Also, there's stuff about Bound Wonder World that also has a demo available. So it's kind of like it's a platform style game that's kind of similar to Mario, and that was kind of made by some of the people who were behind Knights and Sonic. So if you like those games back in the days, then this might be something to check it out. And of course, Tomb Raider, it's its big 25th anniversary. So they released a $20 anniversary package, which has Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's for $20 right now, but it'll go up to $50 on April 2nd. So if you haven't played those games yet, then you'll definitely want to buy this. Definitely why I can get it cheap. And of course, they're coming out with more stuff for Marvel's Avengers. Here's the Hawkeye gameplay reveal. And of course, you got the Xbox Series X and PS5 versions out. You can use a smart upgrade for the Series X. And also, now where is it at? Do I have it up? Again, of course, Black Panther is coming this fall. So that's definitely a cool thing. And like I'm showing off here, they've released a roadmap. So while I've been pretty negative about this game in the past, I know like 2 weeks ago, I predicted that it was gonna shut down later this year, but maybe, who knows? Maybe this new stuff will give it life. I mean, I'm a fan of Marvel, so I want this stuff to succeed. But at the same time, they're making so many missteps. But hopefully, if they can survive to this Black Panther stuff, then who knows? Maybe it might be the shot in the arm that it needs. But of course, one thing though is that the Spider-Man content, they really haven't shown a lot of that, and that might not even come out this year. Alright, and what else? Just Cause Mobile, Hitman Cyber Assassins. Forspoken. This was formerly known as Project Athia, and it was shown at the PS5. It was shown as a PS5 exclusive last summer during the big reveal event. It's slated for next year, but it now has a new name, which is called Forspoken, which is apparently a Forest Witch simulator, something like that. So definitely something to watch out for. Of course, no news on Final Fantasy VII Chapter 2, but hey, there's Integral coming out later on, so... And hopefully we'll learn about more cool stuff later on this year. I'm surprised that a lot of this was aimed toward like their American properties, like Square-Enix merged with Eidos, and Square-Enix merged with Eidos a while ago. So like Eidos is the owner of Tomb Raider and a lot of their American stuff. So you can definitely see like if this is definitely like the Eidos part, even though they don't use that name anymore. But anyway, is there anything that I know there's some stuff that I didn't mention. So let me know in the comments what you thought about the whole thing, and if there's anything that you're excited about. Alright, so 2K Games is definitely upping their golf game. Last year they put out PGA Tour 2K21, which received some fairly good reviews. Also, they've recently acquired the developer behind the game, HB Studios, and even bigger, they've bought in Tiger Woods and signed him to an exclusive long-term contract in which he'll be face, executive director, and consultant for their PGA Tour 2K series going forward. So that's a pretty good game. So along with PGA Tour 2K21, HB Studios also produced the game The Golf Club. It's a series, so I'm not big on golf video games. It's one of those things, usually with sports, it's one of those things where I usually gotta be in the mood for it. But definitely good to see this kind of partnership going, and especially with Tiger Woods, stuff he's been through these past few years. Definitely great to see him back on top. So hopefully, like, this partnership with Tiger Woods, 2K, and HB is going to be fruitful for all parties. And definitely golf gamers will definitely get something good out of it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Basically, Tiger Woods is like the MJ of, or is the golf what Michael Jordan or LeBron James is the b-ball. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a good thing. Hopefully the games will be good, or continue to be good, and won't be bogged down by microtransactions. I mean, even though this is 2K, but yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Warning. The following statement contains subject matter of a socio-political nature. If you wish to avoid such content, or you feel such content doesn't belong on a gaming channel, skip to the time code indicated below, or use the chapter listings listed in the description to skip to the next segment. If you choose to proceed, I don't want to hear you bitching about keeping politics out of games. I gave you a choice, you chose to ignore it, so if you get triggered, this is all on you. So on a serious note, for those of you who haven't been paying attention to the news last week, then down here in Atlanta, some bottom-feeding piece of shit drove around to several spas and went on a shooting rampage, gunning down people. And among his victims were 6 Asian women, and the other 2 were was a white female, and the other one was a white male. While the media has been trying to play it off and trying to pass it off as him having a sex addiction or him having a one bad day or some other bullshit, a lot of this has been seen as just a little microcosm of the anti-Asian violence that's been on an uptick these past few years. Well, actually since forever, but it's really been on an uptick this past year because of COVID-19. A lot of game studios and development studios have been speaking out against the violence. There is Phil Spencer from Xbox, and there's been a lot of tweets and hashtags. You got Phil Spencer saying there's no place for it. Bungie's been speaking out. People from Capcom and Devolver Digital. Just pretty much everybody. Being an African American male, I definitely know how it is for people of color in this country, especially for Asians, which you really don't hear about the shit that goes on to them. This ain't about having Asian friends or trying to look cool, and I know some people are going to be accusing me of virtue signaling or some shit, but really this is all just some kind of fucked up situation, which has really just been escalating. There's really no place for it. And people talk about not putting politics in games and shit, or politics on YouTube or whatever the fuck. You gotta deal with this shit it's like you have the privilege of not having to deal with this shit, but it's people who gotta deal with this shit every day in every facet of their lives. So really that's why I'm glad that people are taking a stand and speaking out. I know with the Black Lives Matter from last year, there were a lot of people who were speaking out as well. Now, one thing I do want to mention is there's a difference between actually being an ally and actually speaking out because you legitimately feel like it, and actually speaking out because you're trying to score internet clout. Because last year with the BLM movement, we had several people who were simply tagging BLM, but it was coming out that they were doing some shady shit. So when you hear a company talk about anti-Asian violence or stop AA hate or hashtag or tweet about it, look at them and look and see what they're at. Check their history and check their treatment of people of color, in this case including Asians, and just be skeptical about their past history. Research, do the homework, and you'll know if they really mean what they say or if they're clout chasing. Because a lot of people are just gonna because I guarantee you that as soon as this shit blows over, they're just gonna go back to ignoring this shit, and it'll just be another call for hashtag, just like the Black Lives Matter, just like the whole BLM protest from last year. But this is shit that goes on year round, and I know this is gonna be a video that's gonna be more in common for my other YouTube channel, and I know some people are gonna get pissed off. That's why I put that warning up, and I know I might even lose some subscribers, but I don't care. I'm not even trying to say as a person of color and as an African American, because I'm not Asian. I'm not them. I don't share their life experiences. All I can do is just listen and make my voice heard. So really, and it really doesn't even require any of that, just to be an ally, just to know that shit is wrong, just to do the right thing. People call it virtue signaling and shit, but it costs you very little to be a decent person. But nowadays, people want to go out of their way to be an asshole to other people. So yeah, so to everybody who's speaking out legitimately, thank you very much. And to everybody who's clout chasing, I'm not going to say fuck you, but your deeds will be coming to the surface. So that's enough of me saying. So now that I'm done soapboxing, let's get back into the news. Alright, real quick before I end this, and to make up for including political content and gaming, I just want to make two quick announcements. So, you have until next Wednesday, if you haven't done so already, to purchase Mario 35th Anniversary and Fire Emblem, what's the game's name? Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light for the Switch. If you don't know already, Mario 35th Anniversary contains ports of Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Sunshine, while Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light was, I believe, the first installment in the Fire Emblem series and was originally released on the NES in Japan. It was brought over to the Switch late last year and was given quality of life upgrades. So, after the 31st of this month, both games will no longer be available, either in physical or on the Nintendo eShop, which is kind of a dick move on the part of Nintendo. But I mean, really, like, false scarcity really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, if you want them, then hurry up and buy them. Also, this is pretty cool. Like, a group called Project Deluge has released over 700 PS2 prototypes and unreleased demos at the Hidden Place. So what these basically are is demos and early builds of games that went out to the media and E3s and other shows, and they show like early versions of these games, like even stuff like even games that were canceled. So this is pretty awesome. Like gaming archival, like that's definitely important going forward. And props to this group for doing that. And right now it's like over 850 gigabytes of material here, and they said they're not done yet. So these probably work with PS2 emulators. So definitely this would be something to like download, jump into, and just take a look at. And hopefully they won't shut this down or file a copyright claim. But like, to me, this is why gaming archive is important, because you get to see like so much cool stuff, and you get to see like what goes into some of these early builds. So it's just pretty awesome to see. And I'll post a link to it in the comments. Alright, kinfolk, it's time for this week's cool shit. Right, take a look at some cool shit. Sometimes it's gamer related, sometimes it isn't. This week, thankfully, it's gamer related, and we take a look at Fire Pro Wrestling World, currently available on PC and PlayStation 4. Don't let the 16-bit style graphics fool you. You're looking at one of the biggest, deepest, and most complete wrestling titles on the market today. Fire Pro Wrestling World is the latest in a line of pro wrestling games that stretches back to the Japanese PC engine in 1989. The games are famous for their sheer amount of customization, match types, and huge roster size. The gameplay emphasizes timing, pacing, and performance, and it captures the feel of actual professional wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling World is no different, and the developers have brought it into the modern era. The game also contains downloadable content focused on New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom for hardcore Japanese and Joshi wrestling fans. It also contains a promotion mode where you try to become the top wrestling promoter. PC gamers even have Steam Workshop access, letting them download and share tons of custom wrestlers, ring designs, and movesets. If that isn't enough for you, you can also find tons of mods as well. If you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you've been turned off by WWE 2K, I strongly recommend Fire Pro Wrestling World. Well, kinfolk, that wraps it up for another edition of 5-Bit News. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like what you just saw, hit that thumbs up icon. And if you hate me for putting political content in the gaming video, click that thumbs down icon. I won't be angry. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and click that little bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video. I do one game related video each week, at least one game related video. I got an unboxing video coming up later on this week, might even be tomorrow. I got some reviews coming up. I got all types of crazy stuff coming up. So if you like gaming and you want to see something beside Fortnite, then definitely subscribe to this channel and check it out. Until next time, hope you have a great week, and I'm out 51,000 G.